Oh yay! Oh yay! Oh yay! All persons who have anything to do at the court of the view of Frank Pledge and court baron of the Mayor of Lichfield, commonly called St. George's Court, held this day by adjournment before Christopher Moulton, steward of the said manor, of the Mayor, councillors and citizens of the said city, let them draw near and give their attendance. God save the Queen! God save the Queen!
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Bailiff, for that rousing introduction. Those of you who are regulars here will have noticed we've got a new bailiff today, but just for today only. Adrian Holmes from Sandwell, who very kindly agreed to stand in for us. Ken is here, but we weren't expecting him to be, so that's why it's slightly different place. So, traditionally then, statement of the steward, item 2 on the agenda. My Lord, officers of the manor, distinguished visitors and citizens, welcome to St. George's Court. Proceedings today are scheduled to take 1 hour, and we do apologise for the slight delay in starting. I thought we were going to have a dry St. George's Court at one stage, but thank you very much, Jeff, for getting here on time for us. The court would have seemed an awful lot longer without a beer. So for the benefit of those of you attending for the first time, it's traditional to give an account of the historical background of St. George's Court. Unfortunately, Simon Sharma couldn't be with us today, so today's history lesson is going to be delivered by me. So, since long before the Norman Conquest in 1066, bishops throughout England were lords of estates with rights over people and property. The bishop, or his steward, would hold manorial courts, with one in particular known as the Court Leet. All of the townspeople were required to attend to tug their forelocks to their superiors and pledge their fidelity to the sovereign. This ceremony was the view of Frank Pledge, which the bailiff announced when he opened the court today. Those who failed to answer the summons to attend would be fined. In some of these courts, known as courts baron, matters of rights and fair practice in the community were dealt with, and some of the local people would be impanelled as a jury under the direction of the Lord of the Manor. In these courts, the officials of the manor would also be appointed. These included high constables and dozeners, or petty constables, to control the ne'er-do-wells and miscreants in the community, pinners to control the pound for stray cattle, ale tasters to sustain the quality of beer, and...
Is it tomorrow or today? I'm not sure what day it is. Are you into my watch? What day have you got it down as? Because I think the day is yesterday.
Yeah, but we're due here tomorrow.
So we're here yesterday.
You are the only people I told about tomorrow.
Well, we are here yesterday, so does that mean we're all right for tomorrow then? And if tomorrow isn't yesterday, when is it?
We were in the pub next door and somebody said there's... Are you all here for...
Somebody said
election campaign or Brexit or...
you hear them?
Yeah!
He's here!
We've been searching
we
everywhere.
Where you were. So apparently, all of you can adjust your digital watches because today is officially yesterday. And tomorrow won't happen because it can't officially happen while it's today.
So we're going to go and finish our report.
We had. I wish I'd written something now.
Are you staying?
Are we staying?
Oh.
Well,
We've thrown Jeff off his chair now.
who's this? Oh, well, I'll have to. Jeff, you sit there.
Can you finish by tomorrow, please?
Can you?
Can I just ask, since you were late starting, he's putting time constraints on everybody this year. Our time doesn't start. Well, we'll add 10 minutes, how about that?
10 minutes sounds good. We're about 10 minutes late starting, so. Okay, I'll get back to my piece. Coming in a minute. The ale tasters, ladies and gentlemen. To sustain the quality of the beer and occasionally stumble around, maybe later. In 1548, in the reign of Edward VI, the rights of the bishops passed to the bailiffs, burgesses and commonalty of the city of Lichfield. That's the mayor of the council and you lucky people. So all such courts have long since been discontinued, their place taken by county and criminal courts. But Lichfield, with its firm grip on tradition, still summons a manorial court of the old style in the hope of being able to tell a lot of old jokes. And the ugly joke. And have a drink, of course, as well. And the day chosen annually is the day on which the court has assembled since the beginning of the city's recorded history, namely the 23rd of April. Unless, of course, St. George's Day is on the Sunday.
It doesn't say it. You've made that up.
No, it says this. My predecessor here, you'll know.
It's very difficult being the clerk and the trade union representative.
It is very good. So, the next of these courts will be held at 10:30 in the Guild Hall this very day, on Bower Day in this very room. This is the Court of Array, where the mayor and officers will inspect the men-at-arms. This is also a free event, and all are welcome to attend. If you can stand any more of this after today. I trust this brief outline will help you to understand the ancient terms and ancient jokes which you hear on this day, and ancient customs and foolishness which you will witness. So on behalf of the Mayor as Lord of the Manor and of the loyal citizens of Lichfield, I as Steward say, long may it continue. Item 3 on the agenda, ladies and gentlemen, which is an item I never thought we'd get to. It's the High Constable's report. Now, can I introduce our two High Constables, which are John Crowe and Les Ashley, to my right here, who will now present their reports. Thank you, gentlemen.
Your Lordship, during the past 12 months, we've noticed several notable things have happened in Lichfield. We had a large concert in Beacon Park by a well-known Welsh singer, and the park staff are still trying to chase Delilah off the green grass. Also, we had a new bishop installed, and there was a very, very notable find in the grounds of St John's Hospital. For those that don't know, medieval cemetery. But that's the factual bits. But we're pleased to report that the men-at-arms didn't have to deploy to keep order in the city during the past year. Basically because we only work 9 till 5. And we don't go on the streets after dark. But it was considered that some action may have to be taken during the bow procession, thanks to a placard-waving protest. But that has now all come to an amicable arrangement, I believe. And now that Lichfield can boast the same as government supermarkets, 2 for the price of 1, or buy 1, get 1 free. Reference to Miss Lichfield and the Bower Queen. Apologies to anybody affected. Also, the driver of a stolen road roller who ploughed through a garden fence last week in Lemonsley was charged by the police for taking the roller and driving under the influence. He has asked for 8 other fences to be taken into consideration. Also, a visitor to the city, a stranger, sauntered into a local pub and asked for directions on the quickest way to get to Stafford. The barman replied, "Are you walking or going by car?" The visitor answered, "I've got my car outside." The barman replied, "Oh well, that surely is the quickest way." A local farmer in Kerborough asked his neighbour if he would sell him a pig. The neighbour said he would for £200. "But I'm your friend and that is a lot of money," replied the farmer. The neighbour rubbed his chin thoughtfully for a moment and said, "As you are a friend, I will take 20% off." Now the farmer wasn't very good at maths, so he was not sure what he meant, and he suggested, "I'll let you know." That afternoon, the farmer saw the local schoolmistress in Tesco Express. "Excuse me, Miss Pugh, if I give you £200 less 20%, what would you take off?" "Everything but my earrings." Miss Pugh replied without hesitation. Recently, it's been revealed that there's a problem with visitors picking flowers in the local parks. This is a practice that needs to be immediately nipped in the bud. The old ones are the best. My neighbour also walked miles recently collecting money for a sponsored walk. He collected so much he was able to get a bus home. Or a taxi. And finally, following up on a report from last year's court, police are still looking for the hardened criminals who crashed a stolen ready-mix concrete truck near Lichfield. They are believed to have gone into hiding somewhere in the city and remain very set in their ways. I'll hand you over to my colleague.
Good afternoon. Now, most of you know me. I'm for the Lichfield Mercury. Keep buying it or having it delivered. Now, 80 years ago in May, coronation of the Queen's father, 1937, and they had a great event for it in Lichfield. It lasted a fortnight, all the events, and started off with little odds and ends, and on the end of it, they had a sports day. Married women under 20 could enter into the egg and spoon race. Over 20, they had 40 yards. It was game with an egg and spoon race. All the ladies entered for it. Same with the men. The men had a sack race. Again, 20 yards, and that's it. And all the events were there. They carried on for a week. All sorts of events. Bowls tournaments, tennis tournaments, and all sorts. So, on the 12th of May this year, it's 80 years since the coronation of the Queen's father. Yesterday was the Queen's birthday. She was 91. So that's she will be with us for this event after. Thank you.
I now ask the Lord of the Manor to thank the High Constables for their reports.
Thank you, Mr. Steward. I would like to thank both of the High Constables for their report, which I shall read again later today to ensure that it is in order. And I would like to thank them for their vigilance to ensure that this city has remained safe throughout the year.
Thank you. Item 5 on the agenda. Now, this is the one you've all been waiting for. It's not them. It's the selection and calling over of the jury. And as you can see, despite our appeal, we've just got 5 jurymen. So the prize is going to be a coveted seat on the jury. Oh yes. Okay, so moving swiftly on. Item 6 on the agenda now is to swear in the jury. So, tempted it a bit this year. So, if you all stand, please, jury members. Thank you very much. This first part is for the jury foreman. Thank you. And this is Jan Ladengate. As foreman of this jury, with the rest of your fellows, you shall inquire and true presentment make of all such things as shall be given you in charge, and of all such matters as shall come to your knowledge presentable at this court. You shall present nothing out of hatred or malice, nor conceal anything through fear, favour or affection. But in all things you shall true and just presentment make according to the best of your understanding. Do you consent, Lady Gaines? Thank you. And now for the rest of the jury members. The jury, the like oath which your foreman hath taken on her part, you and every one of you shall well and truly observe and keep on your respective parts. Do you all consent? Excellent. Thank you very much. Take a seat, please. We have a jury, ladies and gentlemen. So, the next item, number 7, nominations for constables. Now, high constables are appointed each year, and you can only do it once. Nobody's ever actually wanted to do it more than once. So, we've got a list here going back 84 years, so we know who's done it before.
One or two of them are still alive.
Right, thank you, chaps, thank you, good. So, briefly, the role involves riding around in a car at this year's Bower, and coming here this time next year to present the report. So, can I call for nominations, please? Now, if... Just one moment. Just one moment. Just one minute. We need 2, but if we've got more than 2 nominations, then the jury will leave us for a few minutes to deliberate in the meeting room just through there. So, nominations, please.
Who was it?
Philip Priest.
I'll second that.
And he's been duly seconded. Any other nominations?
Jeff Mumford.
Jeff Mumford?
I'll second that.
And he's been duly seconded. Jeff Mumford of BFA.
No need to wake up yet, Jeff.
That's right, Jeff.
I do apologise. Can't do it twice, sorry.
You've been one.
Have you done it?
Thank you, your honesty, Jeff.
Did we miss it?
Any other nominations then, please?
Peter Richmond, if he was happy to do it.
Peter Hitchman. You can't be a jury member and high constable. Have you done it
No, he
before?
could be nominated for next year.
We've had another one, Peter Young.
Peter Young?
Yes, I'll second that one.
So everybody seconded Peter Young. Thank you so much. Right, if a juryman is nominated High Constable, they have to stand down from the jury. So Peter, are you happy to accept the nomination? You have to stand down now. You are happy to. Right, okay, you need to go back to your place. And we'll elect another jury member in a second. So, at the moment, we've got Philip Priest and Peter Young. Can we have... Oh, and Peter Hitchman, do beg your pardon. So we've got 3. Before we ask the jury to retire to consider those 3 nominations, we do need... Order in the jury, please. Come on. We do... This is the House of Commons. We need another jury member, which we can't select by bingo, can we easily? Anybody interested in standing or sitting in that seat there, please? Just for today. Oh, perfect. Dr. John James, thank you very much. Right, jury, you are dismissed. Jury members.
You've got to be sworn in.
I just sworn in.
No, in. John. You can't. You can't just say.
I think he's out.
We'll get to you. We'll get to you. Dr. James, the like oath which your foreman have taken
Say
on
yes, quick.
her part. Okay, great. You're in. So, jury members, if you'd like to retire, please do to the committee room and consider those 3 nominations by constables for next year.
Take your time.
Come back whenever you're ready, but take your time.
Is that today or tomorrow?
Today,
Well, tomorrow's the right day.
George's day tomorrow, yeah.
if you're too long, you'll miss the main event. Okay, thankfully, we're now on item 8 on the agenda. So this is the report of the pinners. Now, only one of our pinners is able to be present today, which is Councillor Bob Alty. Councillor Spruce, the other pinner, sends his apologies from Melbourne, but he is willing to stand again next year, which we'll bear in mind later. So, Councillor Alty, thank you.
To those of you who don't know, in days gone by, a pinner, or a pinder, was a man employed by the town to gather stray animals and to lock them in a penfold. A pen until retrieved on payment of a fine by their owner. We still have a pinfold. It's situated at the corner of Stafford Road, and you've guessed, Pinfold Road. Nearly every village once had its pound for stray animals. Cattle, pigs, geese, etc. To be driven into, and they're kept at the expense of the owner till such a time as he should pay for the fine, the amount claimed by the person on whose land they had strayed, for damage done, and the fee to be paid to the pound keeper, man or sometimes woman, for feeding and watering of the same. Once again, this pinner stands before you and confesses he has little to report. There have been no charging herds of cattle, no squealing pigs, no mindless geese to round up, not even migrating wildebeest or suicidal lemmings. No lost or aimless animals at all, unless you count the human variety who stagger around Lichfield on a Friday and Saturday night, and it has to be said that if they were rounded up, the pinfold on Stafford Road would not be big enough to hold them. Pinners are concerned with animal welfare within the city in general. I've had reports of some rather confused flying ducks landing in the middle of the streets of late. How they confuse tarmac for water is beyond my imagination. And reports of moles have been settling on the green roadside verges of Lichfield in a big way. It has been suggested they are part of the black economy, but I wouldn't know that. And there's been a report of a man in Dam Street who had a gorilla who could read but was very confused. He only had 2 books, the Bible and Darwin's Origin of the Species. He was trying to work out if he was his brother's keeper or his keeper's brother. Sadly, I must report a lady dog breeder in the Lemonsley area who I think kept getting it wrong. She told me that a dog is a man's best friend. I said, I don't believe that. How many friends of yours have you had neutered? She then claimed she had bred a Labrador with a pit bull. She said it was a great combination. It might bite someone's leg off, but it'll always bring it back to its own. She bred a pointer with a setter. Got a poinsettia. Finally, she tried a bull terrier with a shih tzu and got a load of. But a mind, work that out for yourself. Incidentally, you come after me then, you two. Just remind me that.
No, you go.
Happily now she breeds guinea pigs. I feel it's a Pinner's duty to warn people of dangerous animal, or maybe it's the other way round. But this is the clever bit. We know that this year is the tercentenary of the birth of David Garrett, who was of course a friend of Samuel Johnson, and both were contemporaries of the poet and writer Oliver Goldsmith, who wrote a poem called The Mad Dog of Islington. I have to tell you that Goldsmith did not have an incredible foresight. He was not to know that the leader of Her Majesty's opposition would be MP for Islington in the early 21st century. It's not about Mr. Corbyn, so tweet ye not, it's about a mad dog.
It's like hurting cats.
So with apologies to Mr. Goldsmith, who could have been talking about Dr. Johnson, I've moved the events to Lichfield.
We've got an injury here. Is there a doctor in the house? Yeah. Somebody had to do it. We don't get well, we don't get this sort of trouble.
No, you don't. In Lichfield there was a man of whom the world might say, but still a godly race he ran whene'er he went to play. A kind and gentle heart he had to comfort friends and foes, the naked every day he clad when he put on his clothes. And in that town a dog was found, as many dogs there be, both mongrel, puppy, whelp and hound, and curs of low degree. The dog and man at first were friends, but when a pique began, the dog, to gain some private ends, went mad and bit the man. Around from all the neighbouring streets the wandering neighbours ran, and swore the dog had lost its wits to bite so good a man. The wound it looked both sore and sad to every Christian eye, and while they swore the dog was mad, they swore the man would die. In that town a dog was found, as many dogs there be, both mongrel, puppy, whelp and hound, and curs of low degree. The dog and man at first were friends, but when a pique began, the dog, to gain some private ends, went mad and bit the man. Around from all the neighbouring streets the wandering neighbours ran, and swore the dog had lost its wits to bite so good a man. The wound it looked both sore and sad to every Christian eye, and while they swore the dog was mad, they swore the man would die. But soon a wonder came to light that showed the rogues had lied. The man recovered from his bite, the dog it was that died.
Thank you very much, Councillor Rossi. Item 9 then on the agenda is nominations for pinners and pinlock keepers for the coming year. Councillor Rossi, you wish to stand again? One more year, yeah, good. In that case then...
and a fine for Mr. Spruce, I think.
Yes, it will be dealt with, certainly. So we've got Councillors Spruce and Orty willing to take the positions of pinners again for the next year. Is everybody happy with that? Yeah. Excellent, thank you. I hesitate, but we're on item 10 at last, gentlemen.
Right.
Could we...
Can we move straight to that?
So, the ale tasters, ladies and gentlemen.
And Jeff Bumpton, the brewer of this fine beer, will now be pouring the same. Poor driver.
I think the injured ones should get one first.
There'll be a few of them before we finish. Get me a microphone.
Are we arrived for time? Huh? Yeah? What do we do with that? It won't work if you take it back. You've been playing with that all the time.
Sedgwick, who has an important announcement to make.
It is an important announcement. You'll appreciate that...
Get on with it.
Oh, Prepareth to square. Urgent safety notice. The Guild Hall is overbooked for this nonce.
Now that means, urgent safety notice, the Guild Hall is overbooked for this event.
Our booking agent hast made it a misprison.
Our booking agent has made a mistake.
We needeth volunteers to give it up thy seat immediately. Otherwise we shall ask it the bailiff to eject thee.
We need volunteers to give up your seat immediately, otherwise we will ask the bailiff to eject you.
Nay compensation shall beast hath paid, but thee shall beast guaranteed a seat at next year, and a pint of ale for thy trouble.
No compensation will be paid, but you will be guaranteed a seat next year and a pint of ale for your trouble. And by the way, he hasn't mentioned you're likely to be dragged out.
Yeah, so, any volunteers? No, typical.
Perhaps I should explain that was done in Old English in memory of John Shakespeare.
Yes.
Who was born in 1531 and was ale taster in Stratford-upon-Avon from 1556, as well as becoming the High Constable and High Bailiff, or the Mayor, and whose famous son, of course, William Shakespeare, died on St George's Day, 1616. Of course, St George's Day is tomorrow, not today, but there we go.
Is it tomorrow yet, then?
Well, maybe.
It could be yesterday.
What's the time? No, it's got another...
Well, he knows now he's got a new battery for his clock. Wait, you missed this bit.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, yes. Yes, I wrote a note for myself. It said, Dear Alcohol, we had a deal where you would make me funnier, smarter, and a better dancer. I saw the video, and we need to talk.
Right. Now, we'd like to just discuss very briefly what we're going to do about a date for St George's Day next year, as they seem to be flexible. Now, I'm having my hair done on the 23rd of April next year, and I believe Mr Sedgwick is having his nails cut.
Normally have it done then.
Yeah, and his eyes tested. Yeah. The nails are on the end of your fingers. The haircut will be an interesting job, because I went in there last week and said, what I'd like you to do is to go liberally at it with the scissors. I want 3 bald patches on the top. Down the back, I want it missing on the right-hand side, then very uneven along the back. And on the very right-hand side by my ear, I want it coming all the way down my face. The hairdresser said I couldn't possibly do that. I said, that's funny, you did it last time. Now, we have a problem with Mr Sedgwick, because last week he walked into a bar. Fortunately, no damage was done to the bar.
That's very true.
Over to you.
Can I just report, and you'll all have seen the Lichfield Mercury, thanks to Les, about Tim and Renee Wellings, who I don't think are here today. They recently celebrated 60 years of wedded bliss, and we salute them both. Well, actually, those old enough will recall that many years before the youthful Mr Ablett became my right-hand man, Tim Wellings was my fellow ale taster in this city. But of course, Tim regarded as an extension of his professional career in the brewing trade. But the report in the local paper omitted this outstanding contribution to the city in his CV. And when I spoke to Renee, she said... I found the battery.
Sorry to wake you.
I normally do that when I get up and go to the toilet. So,
You thought you might like it.
so I spoke to Renee and said, she said, I didn't see him for days on end when he was that Nick fellow. At least now we get the garden done. That reminds me about an old story that Tim told me about Old Man Murphy.
Yes,
Do you remember Old Man Murphy?
I do. Oh, lovely man.
He used to work at Jeff's Brewery in Burton-on-Trent for years and years. But one day, he just wasn't paying attention. And he tripped on the walkway and fell over into the beer vat. And the poor fellow drowned.
Dreadful death.
Dreadful death.
Definitely.
The foreman thought it should be his job to go and inform the widow of her old man's death. So he showed up at the front door and he rang the bell. When she came to the door, he said, I'm sorry to tell you that poor old Murphy passed away at work today when he fell into the vat and drowned. And she wept, as you would, covered her face with her apron, and then after a time, between sobs, she said, tell me, did he suffer? And the foreman said, no, I don't think so, because he got out 3 times for a pee.
Now then, now we have some brewing news. Lichfield, here we go. The opening of the King's Head. Now, that is now under the management of a regiment, which is a very novel way of managing a pub. I have to say that the mayor and the civic dignitaries were invited to this event, thank you, yes, but obviously for their knowledge of regiments, because they're not noted for their knowledge of beer, the ale tasters were nowhere to be seen. So let's hope that when it comes to regiments, the King's Head are the boys, because the beer is so far untested. We have Wetherspoons, and that is going to be the gatehouse.
No, it was the gatehouse.
Was the gatehouse, and that now is going to be another brewery. And guess who's going to be opening that one? You've got it, the mayor and the sheriff. For their intimate knowledge of beer, I don't think so.
I think the civic protocols need to be changed here. It shouldn't be a mayor and sheriff opening a pub without an ale taster present.
Now, we regularly go to the Angel and check the beer there, and I can tell you it is in excellent form. Not that the mayor or the sheriff would have a bloody clue whatsoever.
We might be there later.
Yeah, we
might be there later.
Yeah, we were there the other day, quite curiously. A skeleton walked in and ordered a pint and a mop. The very good local news, the Horse and Jockey in Sanford Street has been voted by Camera the best pub in Staffordshire.
Well done to them.
Fortunately, the mayor and the sheriff were not involved in that process. And tomorrow, the ale tasters will be involved because the Turnpike is having a St George's celebration.
On the right day?
On the right day. You might ask why it's tomorrow, because that actually is St George's Day. There are those people who find that a bit difficult concept to get hold of. Over to you, sir.
We should report, of course, that in the spring budget, by the last government, as they are now, the duty on the tax on beer was put up by 2p a pint. 2p's. How do we afford that? Some pubs, however, are absorbing that increase. So are we.
Not too well, a minute. I think a bit's just got out.
Having 2p on... I'll stop. Having 2p... Having 2p on a pint of beer is serious, and we are not pleased about it. In fact, Donald Trump... Pardon, was that...
No, that wasn't me.
Was that...
Somebody did, was it over there?
No. Donald Trump is a keen beer drinker.
Just did it again.
No, it's serious, folks. In fact, so serious that Coors have named a new beer after him called MOAB, Mother of All Beers. but it's known locally as Trump Bitter.
That was me.
Was that you? Is that you? Yeah. A little story I heard in a bar the other day was a man walked in with a slab of asphalt under his arm, and he said to the barmaid, "A beer, please, and one for the road."
Right, I'd just like to report that there was an event involving beer, indeed Jeff's excellent Burton Bridge beer, held in this very room on, when was it? Tuesday night. The Beer, Bikes and Beards. We were there representing the beer interest. Yes, it was an excellent do. 5 speeches, very amusing speeches. Among others, there was a sex consultant. Well, obviously, we all needed that after a few beers. Curiously, he and I had a hand massage, and would you believe the stuff in the tube that was being rubbed on our hands was called hand relief. It's a good job that the sex consultant was there to discuss it. And even the chairman of the district council was mightily involved, walking on stilts, spinning plates, and wearing, I thought, a very fetching red uniform. Well done, sir.
I thought he'd be in it today.
Oh, well, I hope so.
Can I just move on to Burton Bridge? We are indebted to our great friend here, Jeff Mumford, from Burton Bridge, for all of his assistance, including, it has to say, absolutely dedication to the task when, unfortunately, Jeff's vintage lorry broke down for the 3rd time, I'm told, Jeff.
3rd time today.
Today? Yes, I meant today.
Excuse me. Would this be the same lorry you put diesel in a couple of days ago?
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday. I don't know where I heard about that.
No. But he broke down eventually after 3 attempts in King's Bromley on his, because Jeff, I know, he won't mind me telling you, he will never drive down the A38 just in case he breaks down. So he comes all the way around Captain Park from Burton and then across at Oribus and goes through King's Bromley to come the back roads to here. So the 3rd time, we were standing anxiously outside waiting for Jeff at 10:30. 10:30 came, 11 o'clock came, 11:15 came, so...
Everything came except Jeff, really.
But the Bridge Brewery came to the rescue, and Jeff, great that your beer's here.
And
thank you very much.
Newly painted barrel.
Indeed, Jeff is a key personality now in Lichfield. As well as looking after the ale taster, he's provided special ales for civic events such as the Sheriff's Ride, and also for last week's event here, the BB&B, which my good friend Mr. Ablett referred to. A few years ago, and I'm going back a few years ago, someone suggested to Jeff that what Burton really needed was a brewery. So Jeff and his business partner Bruce Wilkinson decided it was a good idea, and they produced Burton Bridge Brewery. However, now they're coming to the time in life when they've decided it's time to retire.
Excuse me, shall I go and take the battery out again?
Yeah, take it. We know that Jeff has the brewery for sale, as not only just the brewery, but the brewery and the 5 public houses that go with it. But we would, on behalf of this court, and in particular the ale tasters, like to wish both of them, you and Bruce, a very, very happy and well-deserved retirement.
Yeah.
They will be leaving a fantastic legacy of brewing and 5 excellent pubs.
And a lorry halfway up the A38.
We would, as the ale tasters, Madam Mayor, suggest to this court that Mr. Mumford be appointed an honorary assistant to the ale tasters to assist assist us in our arduous work going forward.
I think we need 3 at our age.
We remember well, those of us who watch the television and watch the Great British Railway journeys, Jeff's encounter with Michael Portillo with the said lorry on Burton Station. So, Jeff, I know the sale is ongoing, but if it's not too late, could we organise a raffle later? Good for you, tickets. Okay. Well, we won't use this. We'll do something a bit better.
Right.
Oh, hang on a sec. I've got a joke.
Go on then.
Shall I tell a joke? You've lost half of that.
I have.
This is what becomes of being a day early when we're not prepared. No. This was overheard. There was a guy standing at the bar last week, and he ordered a pint of the very best Burton Bridge at £3.50 a pint. Well, it was in this place, it was expensive. He drank it straight down and ordered another one, and then another, and another. Eventually the barman said, "Do you normally drink it that quickly?" The man said, "I do, and I've only got 28 pence in my pocket."
Right, it's time now to catch up with the website. I know we have a number of keen fans of the website here, and I do feel that you should be sharing the developments with us. This is the website, of course, drinkbeer/drinkmorebeer// Yeah, okay, I'll do my best.
Mr. Amlett, it's //
//
Okay,
thank you very much. I think edits goes everywhere these days.
That's what worried me.
Yeah. Takes a doctor to tell you which direction to slash it, doesn't it? There we go. Now, we have added to it YouTube if you want to. We have a new virtual pub called Windows 10. No doors, just windows. We have bandwidth issues, of course, as most people do. The bandwidth is a serious issue. The drummer can't get in through the window. High-speed broadband doesn't seem to suit our low-speed typing. My last pint was hacked by a Russian. We're both suffering from hacking. In fact, we got hacking cough. Yeah, there you go, that's a hacking cough. Oh, I can't remember those anymore. We won't bother with those. We'll go straight to the poem, I think.
Pom?
Okay. Pom. Right, shall I start?
Okay.
Again, an election. A Brexit reflection. Same again, just like last time. The campaign shout will be all in or out. Not much good for this, right?
Would it be queer to ask for free beer? I will send the PM a note. And when we are ailing and gently wassailing, she would certainly win over my vote.
Correct. The thought of austerity. Now there's a rhyme to go with. The thought of austerity for the rest of posterity is a prospect hard to foresee. We must spread the good word, however absurd, or try to pin down our MP.
The ale taster's duty, my little old beauty, to lead this place into good cheer by encouraging thinking of more serious drinking, of consistently excellent beer.
Yes. Sing on beer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the ale tasters, thank you very much indeed, chaps.
I'm in.
Oh,
So, just before we move on to item 11, which is the appointment of ale tasters for the next year, members of the jury, have you come to a verdict over the appointment of high constables?
We have.
Thank you very much. The names are Peter Young.
Peter Young.
Yay!
Surprise, surprise.
And after much fighting and deliberation and thumb wrestling, Philip Priest.
Thank you very much indeed. So it's Peter Young and Philip Priest. Many congratulations, both. Item 11 then, moving swiftly on if we can now. Appointment of ale tasters for the forthcoming year. Are you capable of standing? Are you happy to stand again? Are you sure? Okay. And your suggestion, Jeff, for an honorary assistant?
Yes.
If the court be pleased, we will adopt that. Item 12 then, appointment of bailiff for the coming year. Now, we've got Ken's son, Adrian, helping us out today, but are we happy for reappointment of Adrian's dad to the forthcoming year? I know Ken's happy to do it. Yes? Yes. Good, thank you. Item 13, appointment of dozeners for the coming year. I think all but one are willing to stand again, is that right? So, just the Conduit Street, down the street, Councillor David Dundas, we need a new dozener to replace Councillor Dundas. Any nominations, please? Colin?
Yeah. Get that clock. Is everybody good? Look at the
Yeah,
time.
good. Item 14, absent jurymen. And there's been quite a few. So, apologies for non-attendance today. Various people have been summoned to attend the court, but some have not turned up. What should we do with them, jury?
Find them.
Find them, yes, find them indeed. I'll read them out, and I'll ask the jury to levy a fine on all of them if they will. Quite a few, I'm afraid. This is from William Fortescue Smythe. Oh God, it's you again. Inviting me to another St. George's Court. What do you want me to say? The invite is neither desirable nor sought. I don't like merriment and I don't like jokes. Why do you keep wasting invites on us grumpy old folks? I don't like the Guild Hall, too big and grand for me. I'd rather stay at home shouting at the TV. I don't like the ale tasters. An act to be missed. Always stumbling about the place, totally Brahms and Liszt. I'm not fond of the new town clerk, doesn't seem old enough to me. Not like the previous bloke, he was 83. So I won't be at the court, I'm staying right here. You can't make me come, I'll get my own beer. That's very rude.
Yeah.
What's the fine?
Substantial.
Sounds reasonable. 50 groats. Excellent. The second is from Jill Sutton, which says, I regret I will be unable to attend the court on the said day. I'll be returning from a spring break on the island of Mallorca and being unable to obtain the requisite magic carpet from Jet 2. I must decline the opportunity to join the jury. I trust this dereliction of duty will not require a visit, however short, to yourselves. I think it should, frankly. Fine.
I think
An
an hour in the cell.
hour in the cells. Gentlemen, make a note of that. Could be coming your way soon. So this is the third one from Pam Stokes, the Vice Chairman of Burntwood Town Council. I'm sorry we cannot be there on this auspicious occasion day. My husband, he's kidnapped me and stolen me away. I wouldn't want him to stand trial for his heinous crime. We're having a little R&R and having a lovely time.
Why should you have a nice time?
In the stocks, a good suggestion. Thank you very much indeed.
An hour in Burton.
That's why she's on holiday. So the next one is from Jane Dare's Hinge. My summons to the jury on this St George's Day, I must reply to you with my valid reason, which is legal, honest and true. I will be in Lisbon, a place that's far away, in a country called Portugal, to visit family. We will send over our greetings to the court and gathering and toast you with good wine and lots of foodie things. The sun will be shining and my toes will be in sand, but we will be flying the St George's flag in this quite foreign land, upholding our customs, traditions and ale tasters too. I wish you all a happy St George's Day from across the pond to you. It's a little bit, isn't it? Yes, that fire should be particularly big.
Are you wearing a sandwich board?
I think we've just got one left, which is from James and Emily Hoskins. They were both born and bred in Lichfield, but some of you may be aware, they recently moved to the East End of London to make a new life for themselves. It reads, "All right, me old china plate. How's things in the northern wasteland then? Me and the Trouble and Strife are sending our apologies as we both had some bad Donald Duck this last week. I went for a stroll the other night down the Frog and Toll to the Rubber Dub for a couple of pints of pig's ear. You will understand this. I'm struggling with it. After a few minutes chatting with a couple of my best garden gates, I needed to go for a Jimmy Riddle. On my way back from the Jimmy, a chap stumbled over to me, completely Brahms on this, pushed his boat race right up to my Mary Rose and shouted, 'Are you staring at my wife's threatening bits?' The chap wanted me outside for a read and write. Now, I'm not a violent man. I had not been staring any threatenings, and I didn't want any Barney Rubble. So, we decided to leave the Rubber Dub, catch the Uncle Gus into town, and go for a nice Ruby Murray. But would you Adam and Eve it, one of the laces on my daisy roots had come undone, and on the way up the apples and pears to the Ruby house, I tripped and fell. I wasn't even Elephant's Trunk at the time, and certainly not Mozart. I landed on the tuppence a pound with a very large thud. When I tried to stand up, I realised I'd twisted my ankle and also had a sore bottle and glass.
Did you read this first?
No. That was a mistake. I'm realising that now.
It might get worse.
Okay. Damage limitation. Okay. I couldn't walk to the station to catch the John Wayne or the Uncle Gus, so I had to get on the dog and bone to call the Joe Baxi to take us home. Driver was a tea leaf. It cost a pony to get back to my rat and mouse. Even now, my bottle and glass is so badly bruised I can't drive the jam jar. All the way to Lichfield, even with the Jack and Jills the doctor gave me to ease the pain. As for the Trouble and Strife, she's come down with a bad case of the Farmer Giles. So she can't sit down either. So, we're so sorry we can't believe you, but look forward to seeing you at the next court, next Donkey's Ear. That's, yes, fine, jury. A large one. Good.
We'll write another one for you next year.
Okay, right. The next item on the agenda, item 15, the jury to sign the minute book. I need all the jury members, if you would, just to sign this book for me, and then we'll move swiftly on.
Do you look at the times?
Pass it around the jury. We'll pass it around. And item 16, the Lord of the Manor, the Mayor will address the Assembly.
Thank you. I would just like to say a few sentences, no more than that, because perhaps after the beer it'll be too much to ask. Well, thanking everybody to come, and this ancient tradition, I think you will agree, it is worthwhile continuing with it. Yeah. We couldn't do it without the support of quite a few people, but I would just like to reiterate what has been said about Jeff Mumford. And I'm really disappointed I missed his talk on Tuesday because apparently it was very, very good. We wish him well in the future, and we hope that we see you again, on all of you, on a St. George's Day or in April the 22nd. Jeff says he'll be back, but I have no doubt about that at all. It was that I was hoping that you, the audience, would also come again and support us. And an alarm might go again if I'm not careful. I would like finally just to congratulate the ale testers. Testers?
Testies is the word.
Sorry, I meant to say the testing ale tasters who do such a good job testing and tasting, and this year have not tested us too much by being quite brief, so I think they need a very big round of applause for that. If I could just say that they may not have been aware that we did actually sweep the cells specially, didn't we, just in case.
We were expecting trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It was just as well we nicked the battery at your clock, wasn't it?
I found out just in the nick, though. Thank you, Your Lordship. Item 17, and on the agenda. We're very close to the end now, though. In a moment, I'll ask the bailiff to close the court, but just before we finish, I've prepared a brief closing poem to mark this auspicious event in the city's calendar. So, that's the end of the court. What a spectacle we've had here. Ale tasters and dozeners are drunk, and the whole place smells of beer, as always. My thanks to the ale tasters, though, for the spectacle they bring. Though they've had a few drinks, so won't remember a thing. Maybe. Let's see. My thanks to the mayor, the bailiff, the jury, the pinners, dozeners and high constables, brewers and staff. Give my thanks to them each time, but it's hard to make this rhyme. My thanks also to you, the audience, and apologies from me. I'm sorry you had to sit through it, but at least admission was free. In 1 year hence, the court will convene once more. I'm glad it's a whole year away, well, because you've seen what happened today. It's been an enlightening hour and a half. But that there is no doubt.
Hour and 10 minutes.
But yeah, I have to make a confession. I still have no idea what this is all about. I just don't know. Anyway, if you could all stand, please. I shall ask the bailiff to close the court, and if you could remain stood just while the lord of the manor and her guests make their way to the rear of the hall. You are welcome to stay, and there's some ale and tea and coffee available at the back of the hall, where we'll do the immortal toast to St. George and his immortal memory. Thank you very much. Mr. Bailiff.
Oh yay! Oh yay! Oh yay! All manner of persons who have appeared this day at the view of Frank Pledge and Court Baron of the Manor of Lichfield, commonly called St. George's Court, may now depart, keeping their day and hour on a new summons. God save the Queen and the Lords of the Manor.
God save the Queen and the Lords of the Manor.
Councillor Bob Orty will now propose the toast to the immortal memory of St. George.
Madam Mayor, Madam Deputy Mayor, Mr. Sheriff, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Every nation has its own patron saint who in times of great peril is called upon to save the country from its enemies. St. David of Wales, St. Andrew of Scotland, and St. Patrick of Ireland, St. George being the patron saint of England. Very little is known about St. George's life, but it is thought he was a high-ranking officer in the Roman army who was killed around AD 303. It seems that the Emperor Diocletian had him tortured to make him deny his faith in Christ. He showed incredible courage and was finally beheaded near Lydda in Palestine. Stories of his strength and courage soon spread throughout Europe. The best known story about St. George is his fight with a dragon. In the Middle Ages, the dragon was commonly used to represent the devil. St. George, so the story goes, killed a dragon, George, patron saint of England. St. George.